All right, Leftovers at Midnight, episode 26, with our guest DJ from MoviePop. And then we have Tommy and Alex, of course. How is everyone?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Feeling feisty,
feeling well.
feisty, my friends. Stay
Awesome.
thirsty.
Stay thirsty.
That's,
Dos
if I may correct
situations.
you, though, however. I was pretty adamant in the pre-show that you refer to me by my most humble and royal name, the great one and only Sir Jamel Jerome Washington Sr. Esquire the Third. But I will accept the truncated version.
You didn't pay us enough for that,
did
so
talk about this. Like that was. I want to be very clear that right there was not a bit. Like we did talk about this.
the dollar amount was not
absolutely.
high enough for me to do that. I'm sorry. You need more zeros in that check next time if you want to pay to come on this podcast. You understand me?
I'm just permanently high, man. I grew up in California, so
Oh, well,
you know.
there you go.
And-
Yeah, man.
Y'all ever just marvel at seeing Karen in the wild?
I like DC
Like-
more.
Well, like, and I'm trying to popularize Karen as a plural for multiple people named Karen. Like it's like moose, you know.
Meese.
But today, I was leaving work and it was raining outside, and this woman runs through the rain up to the awning and says to another woman, she goes, "Ugh, it's wet." And the other lady goes, "Oh my God, I know. It's just been like this outside." Like Karen wants to talk to the Sky's manager, but like just imagine having that just no depth to either
Wow.
it's either your personality or like the relationship with the person you're talking to, where like you are commenting not only on the small talk of the weather, but just the audacity of it.
And
The audacity of it,
speaking
and
of,
just
Every
how-
summer in
how-
Florida it rains.
Yeah, we made it a long time this year without
Yeah,
having
we
a
did.
whole lot of rain. You
Yeah,
know,
yes,
we got to June before it started pouring.
Oh
At all.
no.
You know,
Good
And,
God! If small talk was not banal enough, the fact it's like even more exemplified by the fact that she has to critique that she cannot bend the fabric of reality to her will and complain about
it's wet.
Did she have the
Like,
haircut?
No shit.
Right?
Oh.
the
Did she have the haircut?
sad thing is that
What?
good Tommy.
Did she have the
Did you have
haircut?
the haircut?
This is a must know.
I didn't see her in time to be able to check because I walked past right as she was running in, and I heard this conversation happen behind me.
It would have been
So-
funny as fuck if she fell on her face. Oh my God.
I did see somebody with a haircut today, though. I totally did, for sure. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
like working retail, like you see it. It's all over.
Anyway, Alex, for interrupting you. You can have the floor for only 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, you're good.
much we
The
pay you?
sad thing is, since we're gonna be talking about movies, movie tropes, that conversation does pass the Bechdel test. Unfortunately,
It totally does. I mean, we can give it that. We can give it that.
that.
I don't know what that means.
Well, DJ, you're familiar with the Bechdel test, yeah?
Yeah, you know what? I just politely nodded and smiled like I knew what you're talking about, but no, I don't know what the hell is that. I know
So
what
the
what the Wilhelm scream is.
oh yeah,
Of
I mean that's a
course.
that's a staple. The Bechdel test, I believe, and there may be more stipulations to it, but I believe that a movie passes the Bechdel test if it has at least one scene where two women speak to one another and have a conversation that does not that is not about a man.
Yep. That is the Bechdel test.
Just because like there are a lot of movies that don't pass that test that would probably surprise you, where it's like, wow, okay, this is a minority of movies that actually pass this test up until a certain point.
Oh, like as in like they don't speak about a man in a derogatory or negative.
Oh no,
No.
that they don't speak about a man at all. Like they are just
Yeah.
having a conversation as two women would in real life, and not in the
Oh.
fantasy realm of a movie where supposedly all women ever talk about are men. You know?
Ah,
And they were
how
roommates.
nice. I imagine that's a small percentage of movies then.
I believe it's gotten better over the year. Ever since the Bechdel test became a thing, it has
Hmm.
gotten better.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, so Alex is right. That conversation was between two women, not involving a man and not about a man, and it definitely passes the test.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
guess
DJ,
so. The more you
tell us
know.
about your channel, bro. Tell us what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's get it started here. So yeah, you see right behind moi. This is my channel. It is called MoviePop. I think it's self-explanatory. I love movies and I love popcorn, so why not MoviePop? I think I've been on YouTube for about pressing 2 years now. I initially started doing just new release reviews, graduated towards trailer reaction videos because that's like the hot thing. And what really pissed me off about that actually was like, it was like the most low effort amount of like production, but garnered like the most amount of views. And
Oh yeah.
I personally think the whole trailer reaction thing is like stupid, a waste of time. But yeah, I went for that for a bit, but I couldn't maintain it. Just it's yeah.
You gotta
So,
admit though that doing a trailer reaction for a movie that's upcoming is a really good way to as a content creator to pull content from the same thing more than once.
it's a freaking gold mine. I definitely
Because you don't
recognize
like
that.
you put a review about a movie out, you watch the whole movie and you told people exactly what you thought about it. When you react to the trailer, you
Uh,
now have that trailer and whatever other trailer and the teaser and
right.
like the merch drop or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I'm still flabbergasted by the fact that I put a considerable amount of time in my reviews in terms of like the production quality. Actually, it's all scripted, not like word for word. And then of course the whole back end of YouTube, like trying to make sure it's all relevant tags, so on and so forth. And that like fares less in terms of viewership against something that I literally just hit record and watch and like have no prep time for whatsoever and just speak ad libly. And yeah, so yeah, but anyhow, I graduated from that and started what I call like a weekly news wrap up. It's a live stream news, I guess you could call it, like service. It's called Weekly Weekender, and I've spent about an hour talking about the 10 biggest topics in Hollywood. And that's been really fun because it's been great for audience like engagement, and I think for people who like maybe like really like movies but don't have time to like follow it 3 or 4 hours a day like myself, I can kind of give them the summarized version of that. So um, I've also forayed into I guess you can call it quasi legal activity in terms of rebroadcasting the awards ceremonies, so the Golden Globes, the Oscars, so on and so forth. I've gotten hit
Is
and smacked
is
with a
that
hammer.
illegal?
I think under fair use, I should be okay, but it's
Yeah, for
kind
the
of like,
sake of a review or for critique, I believe that technically should be fair use at least,
Yeah,
but
I think
especially if you
so.
provide commentary while
Yeah,
watching it.
exactly. And I've done it in many variations, whether or not like it was like legit just a show, like being streamed right into, a smaller box near my lower third or playing behind me. I think the sweet spot I discovered most recently was to have it playing on a TV behind me, very low resolution like, and yeah, but yeah, that's pop in a nutshell.
right on,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah, some
Hmm.
good stuff.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's good. It's good. It's good to have you on, man. I don't watch too many movies. I know Alex and Tommy do.
Good.
I have a very
Yeah.
like. We were actually talking about this. I don't know if it was last episode or just in general that I don't watch too many movies. So I was like, you know what? Let's fucking bring on someone who is excellent with movies. And I was like, oh, I know a guy. Let's
Oh,
use him. So
yeah.
perfect candidate.
Yeah, he can be the token black guy and really add some, diversity cred to this three white man panel. So I think it's
Exactly.
all around just wonderful.
Well, yeah, I mean, like realistically, who really wants to watch three white dudes talk about nothing?
About
Me,
20 people.
Not me.
I love watching the Fox
I'm
News
not
channel,
even our
man. That
target
gets me. I
demographic,
get
man.
so hard watching Fox, man. That's all it is, man. Sean Hannity, that's one handsome dude. Shit, give me some Hannity, some what's that guy's name? Columbo. mustache guy.
Yeah, I think
You
that's
know?
his name.
Give me a little Rush
Burt
Limbaugh, you know, just
Reynolds.
do
Fucking
this,
Rush
America, baby.
Limbaugh. Oh, God. My dad used to listen to his radio station in like car rides and stuff.
Jeez. Did the speakers of the car like over time like progressively like start to melt?
Yeah. That's why I got a new truck.
Just
No.
the sheer vitriol of that hate speech emanating from those speakers.
At least he's not
Oh,
listening to
man.
like some kind of crazy like off-brand like conspiracy theory bullshit. That's all I'm glad about.
This is true.
It's not
Yeah,
like-
I hope your dad doesn't think he can catch the vaccine.
No, he also doesn't think the water's turning frogs gay or so, whatever Alex Jones said. Whatever that like
No,
outlandish comment he made was that was just so like tinfoil hat hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and now what we're seeing is like the person who is very rapidly taking Alex Jones's place is Tucker Carlson.
Oh,
Wow.
Like
yeah.
just some of the crazy stuff that he says too.
Ooh, man, you guys are triggering me. This is really kind of gonna blow your mind, isn't it? There. So, because like I'm a bona fide liberal, born and raised in California. I mean, I was there. You guys remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not even exaggerating. I could show you pictures like of me, like Kanye West, like Russell Simmons, like all kinds of crazy celebrities there. Because I was at Ground Zero, Zuccotti Park, like camped out, like fighting the man, fighting the power, down with capitalism, up with smoking dope. You know. But you know, I don't know if it's because I've matured or I feel like, you know, having left like the echo chamber of California, which is ultra liberal, and spending some time in Florida, I feel like my perspectives have become a bit more nuanced, and I definitely do give a lot more credibility to those on the opposite side of the spectrum, let's say. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
I fully understand that.
yeah, and dude, you know what? Tucker Carlson, honestly, he used to be big douche. Big douche. I remember that Jon Stewart debate him had on Crosstalk with Crossfire, or
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna fuck your face, whatever CNN was
Yeah.
calling it. Yeah, that was like grade A, like Tucker Carlson concentrate, ignorant idiot. But honestly, I've seen him matured into a lot of perspectives that I actually do agree with more than I thought I would. Which is interesting.
Well, and in regards to an echo chamber, the only things that I have ever seen regarding Tucker Carlson are the completely ridiculous things that he has
course,
said
yeah.
and done.
Yeah.
You know, like the one that's floating around right now that everybody's freaking out about is he said something about basically and you know, at this point it doesn't matter now that the vaccine's rolled out and mask mandates are getting lifted all over the place, but like he said that if you see someone with their making their child wear a mask, that you should call the police for a child and report them for child abuse.
Okay.
And that is a clip of him saying that, and I don't know what the context even was, but it was just ridiculous, you know?
My niece has had to wear a mask since before COVID and everything because she has very low white blood cell count. And if you have like the common cold, she can die from it. Like it's bad. She is very like immunocompromised. So like she's always had that mask thing on. So she's always had one out in public. If someone called the cops on my sister or my future brother-in-law for that, one of them would be in jail and it wouldn't be for a mask. They honestly, I'd probably beat the living shit out of whoever called the police. Like my sister doesn't fuck around. She will get ratchet like real quick. She's got that like so my mom's Cuban and she's from my mother because yeah, so she'll just fall out like bah, 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 like fucking fingers in the air, fists all over the like she does not play. And then my brother-in-law, very big and scary dude, but he's super nice. He has that like he's built, but he's also on the bigger side.
He's a beefcake.
Yeah, but all he does is like rip trees out of the ground for like his like tree trimming service and lawn care. But he does a lot of it. Like I saw him pull like a tree trunk out of the ground one time and lift it up, and I was like, "What are you fucking doing?" Like those like 400 or 500 pound tree trunks. Like you're scary, bro.
Yeah, fuck CrossFit.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna lift a tree trunk out of the ground.
Man.
Meanwhile, I'm over there using a
Y'all
chain to
ever-
pull it out.
Have y'all hit a point at any point, and I'm sure everybody has, but have you guys ever like thought about your own physical health in like a that disappointing way? Like you spoke to your doctor and they told you something that was just like, I had that happen to me today.
Oh no,
Like
what happened?
I got my first bit of like adulthood bad health news today. I
Uh,
found out that my liver enzymes are high, like really high apparently. And I'm medicated for ADHD. I take Adderall, and Adderall
ooh,
can kind of fuck with your liver.
y-
And so
kinda.
they ran some blood tests to kind of determine where I'm at right now, and they were like, "Yeah, you need to like stop drinking alcohol."
Yeah.
And I don't drink that much. Like I drink occasionally. I smoke a lot more than I drink,
Mm,
but like they're like you need to avoid alcohol for the next couple of months, and you need to avoid anything that has like added sugar, candy,
mm.
anything with a lot of salt. You have to avoid like white bread and pasta and rice and like just like all these things that are like risk factors for like fatty liver disease. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm
Yeah.
24. Like
You know what's funny is he listed a whole laundry list of everything except for the pharmaceutical grade methamphetamine that you take on a daily basis. That might
Well, that's the
Yeah.
idea. That's the idea, is, like, I can avoid those things so that I can continue to function like a normal human being.
understood, right?
Man,
Not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm under any delusion that taking Adderall is good for my organs,
yeah.
um, but, at the very least, my brain can function properly. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like the kick in the ass that I've needed to be like, "Okay, go back to the gym." I have had a gym membership
Yeah.
for years now that I've been paying for, then the only time I've used it in the last 2 years
Mm.
is to shower.
I
Like,
have
I
French
went
fitness.
our water went out earlier this month, and I went to the gym to shower for a couple of days when we didn't have water.
Yeah,
Sad.
Free
I
showers.
mean, I can relate to you, bro. Actually, believe it or not, I have ADHD, and so does my wife, and it's actually quite strong on her side of her family. So yeah, and I work in pharmacy, clinical pharmacy. I've done so for 15 years, and I'm quite familiar with the full range of these wonderful pharmaceuticals that we have: Adderall, Vyvanse,
Oh, yes.
benzamphetamine, dextroamphetamine, mixed amphetamine salts, methamphetamine, which is actually you can get in the pharmacy. I didn't know that. That's
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe it's what is it, brand name, Disoxin, I
this
think?
oxen. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
low grade or low dose
yeah,
methamphetamine hydrochloride.
yeah. But yeah, I know
Brutal. Yeah,
we
for
can't
like that's for
we
when,
can't
like, you
sell
really gotta
weed.
get the bees out of your teeth.
Yeah. We just get to get rid of all them teeth. Just pop
Mhm.
those
Yep.
bad boys in. Yeah.
I think it's like, if I remember correctly, it's like half a milligram is the
Mhm.
dosage.
Then imagine how potent this half a milligram is, considering it's like pharmaceutical grade. There is no fillers, and it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
made
and
by.
I looked into it when I first started taking Adderall because from what I understand, Adderall is a type of medication that generally a doctor should prescribe, like, last.
Yes,
But they just
100%.
throw it at you because it's easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I started really looking into it because I was, kinda struggling with myself over, you know, am I really myself when I'm on my medication, or am I really myself when I'm not on my medication? Am I
Yeah.
cheating my way through life by taking this performance enhancing stimulant? And,
Right.
looking into what the difference between something like, just amphetamine salts or
Mm.
dextroamphetamine and methamphetamine, and it's literally like one methyl group.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is really, really close. But from what I understand, and you might actually be able to answer this a
Yeah.
little bit more than I could, but that one methyl group makes it extremely fat soluble, which
Yes.
which basically it like enters your system super duper fast and then
Hmm.
stays there way
Hmm.
longer.
Yeah, that's why if you notice, you can kind of like uh, dose the next day, and it kind of just kind of Oops, what happened? There I am.
There we
You
are.
can right here.
You're here.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and
Technical
yeah, that's
difficulties.
precisely the reason because it is fat soluble. Like if you've ever noticed, like maybe you take a half a tablet the next day as opposed to a prescribed one, it still kind of kickstarts like
Yeah.
the essential feeling of like one.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, man.
then
Go
it
ahead.
also is like, after one day of not taking it, usually I'm okay, but on the second day, I feel like
Mhm.
dog shit.
Dude, yep, yep, yeah, precisely because that first day you didn't really take it is actually it's still there. Yeah,
Right.
I think it has like a half life of like 36 or 96 hours tops. So yeah, yeah, yeah,
Damn.
man. I'm
Drugs.
on that whole holistic tip, dude. It's the hard work, it's the exercise, it's the eating right, it's the meditation. I don't mean to sound like a fucking like
Oh, yeah, I
Californian.
mean, there's a lot you can do with mindfulness I in mental health in general, but especially with ADHD because, there's a lot of ways you can train yourself out of it if you have the willpower, For sure.
Yeah, and I totally identify, and I'll leave it at this. But with something that you said was like, when I was on Adderall, I felt like, damn, this is how I feel like I should be feeling. Like,
Right.
and like that's a brilliant thing, and trying to chase that dragon and maintain it. Fuck, man, yeah, like coming back to baseline, yeah, it sucked, and nothing is ever really quite like it, honestly. But
Mm-mm.
mm, the
And
health
and
consequences.
as much as I would hate to say it, like, it's an addiction, like,
Oh
even if
yeah.
it's not necessarily, like, a socially unacceptable addiction or one that I mean, I was gonna say one that's not super detrimental, although right now I have high liver enzymes, so I can't really even say that,
Right.
but,
Mhm.
it's I go into withdrawal when I don't have my medication, and
Yeah.
it sucks, and on the flip side of that, even if I wasn't in withdrawal, I've gone, 10, 12 days without my meds, and I can't. I just can't. Yeah.
Just can't
I
stop.
have done I have forgotten to, like, lock the door when I left at work before, like, this was a long time ago before I was, like, medicated again, but, like, I had done crazy stupid stuff
Mhm. Mhm.
just because I wasn't all the way there,
Yeah.
and, it took me a long time to be, like, willing to give myself a break on that and be like,
Mm.
"Yeah, no, your ADHD is way more affecting your life than you give it credit for."
Oh yeah,
For
I
sure.
completely identify with that, 100%. Um, exercise daily,
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
supplement.
I'm waking up at 6 AM to go hit the gym when Hannah leaves for work.
You got to supplement, bruh, too. L-tyrosine. This is a precursor or precursor supplement. Or converts into I think L-dopa and then finally dopamine. Which is of course what Adderall seeks to do is release the
Right.
dopamine, right? It's a dopamine reuptake inhibitor basically. So instead of having a reuptake inhibitor, which does eventually kind of like fry the neural connections that release and capture dopamine, this just keeps your body constantly producing like an excess of it because I think most people who have ADD or ADHD are either deficient or have too much dopamine.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, this is more than I was
I
expecting
know.
to
Hey,
know about ADHD on this episode, and
speaking
I
of
feel like we've monopolized.
speaking of
Sorry.
constantly producing, you're constantly producing amazing content, DJ.
Oh,
Let's get
dude.
some movie questions in your way.
Yes,
You can hit
Thank
us
you.
with some
absolutely.
fucking awesome answers.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
see.
you.
Absolutely. Let's
Here's
get
a
it going.
we got a
Oh, thank
couple of
you.
them
Like,
here.
all right.
What's a movie you would recommend to anyone because it was so good, but it's too
Mhm.
difficult for you to watch again?
Lordy. I looked at that question and honestly, I am not satisfied with the answer, but it's the one persistent answer that keeps popping into my head. And that's going to have to be Requiem for a Dream.
I agree
Alright.
wholeheartedly.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right
Ass to
on.
ass, DJ.
Ass to
Ass to
ass
ass.
to ass. Who said that?
That would be me.
I'm surprised you said that. I'm surprised at the fact that you could even see that because I mean you don't even have a 3090 graphics card. So like
Oh
Yes!
my god!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
You just got fucking owned, bro. Oh, by the
Oh,
guest.
get
Oh, thank you so
fucked.
much, DJ.
I hate you all.
When I told him to check
Oh,
his
man.
Instagram before we started recording, I said, for me and Tommy, do us a favor, mention that Alex doesn't have a 3090 graphics card at some point during
That
the
was
episode.
the most organic way, just so like, are you getting ads on your videos yet? Because like that's
I'm-
how you bring up an ad organically, is that
Yeah.
skill right there. Holy shit, bro. That was
Oh, that's
awesome.
perfect.
Yeah,
Well, my ass is now ruined.
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro, you know
My
what? I've got a
God.
2060 Super here, so
I am running a 1050 Ti still.
I'm
got
not
a-
looking to table deck.
I've got a 2070. Alex has a 2070 Super.
Ooh, you dirty devil, you.
Ah, all you people and your machines.
We got 20 series. You only got 10 series.
You're
Loser.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't upgraded a single thing on my computer since the day it was built.
Well, don't worry.
And it
Once
was
you get
like
ready for it, we
RTX
can all help
having
you.
pleb.
Hey, man, you know, I made it
GTX
through like
pleb.
10 years of circling through like multiple MacBook Airs and
Oof.
2010 through 2011 MacBook Pros that would refuse to stay alive because of this goddamn stupid component Apple makes called a fucking logic board, which is totally not logical.
Yep,
and
it's horrible.
You drop water on it, that's it, you're fucked. And that one piece is like a third of the cost of the whole unit, and there is no third-party manufacturer for that. So basically, you got to buy a new one and take it up the ass from Apple. And you know, like I've been an Apple fanboy sucking that Apple D since 1999, man. But no more sucking the D, man. I'm sorry, Steve Jobs is dead. It may be, you know, maybe like a rigor mortis D, and
No more sucking Tim Apple's dick.
Rest in peace to all of our listeners who are listening on Apple Podcasts. Sorry.
Yeah. Throw out your fucking
If you do us a
your
favor,
earpods.
give us 5 stars and say Tommy sucks.
No, it's fuck Tommy,
help us-
by the
help us
way. We're
drive up that-
continuing this fuck
Yeah,
Tommy
fuck
thing.
Tommy.
Fuck Tommy
Yeah, you
on
say fuck Tommy.
anything.
Just drive us up that algorithm with a 5-star review, and you can say whatever you want.
comment fuck Tommy down below. Hashtag fuck Tommy. Do whatever you want. That's gonna be. That's how we're gonna gauge our
Hashtag
audience with
fuck
fuck Tommy. And for the
Either
record,
that,
he
with
started
that.
it, not me.
hey, either that or make
with
fun of
that.
me for not having a 3090.
So
That too.
DJ, what's a film that you pretend does not exist? And we talked about this. We talked about this just to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit earlier this
Yeah.
week. And
Yeah.
you gave me a really interesting answer about a TV show, but
Ah,
there is a very particular movie for me that I do not like. I will not acknowledge its existence in normal everyday
really?
conversation. So,
you have my interest peaked.
the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie does not exist.
Really?
Exactly. It doesn't exist.
If you are inside the Avatar: The Last Airbender fandom,
Mm.
they do not acknowledge that movie exists.
No,
And it's been funny because that show has gotten way more popular recently. When they added it to Netflix, a lot of new people started watching it, and they would join groups and stuff that had stuff to do with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they wouldn't know why nobody would, like, they'd be like, "Oh, I watched the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie," and people would be like, "What Avatar: The Last Airbender movie?"
There is no war in Bossing Say.
There is no war in Bossing Say. And so like it you know, anytime it comes up and it comes up more than I would have expected it to, but anytime it comes up, it's just like, man, yeah, it would be awesome if somebody had made it a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. I really wish they had done that. It's too
then-
bad they never did.
Somebody would grab like a Blu-ray box of Avatar, the Avatar movie, show it to you, and you would look at it and say, "Doesn't look like anything to me."
That would be
like seeing
that
John
would be
Cena.
Sam-
World.
That looks like
Yeah.
it
Full
would
on
be a really
Westworld.
good idea if somebody
Right.
did that.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for this.
I get your references, DJ.
Yes, sir. You
I
are,
wanna
you are
say-
a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you.
the first Justice League. I don't even remember who the
Ooh.
director is. That movie was just
Joss Whedon.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You can't have the
Yeah.
Snyder Cut without
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
original
well-
Justice League there.
Did you see the original?
Yeah.
No, I
Yes.
didn't,
There you go.
actually.
Oh.
Don't.
I waited because everybody told me it was ass garbage.
It was
and so I
fucking
just watched
horrible.
the Snyder Cut when it came out
It's
to
terrible.
be entertained instead of having, to compare it in my head.
I'm glad we got the Snyder Cut. The movie was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. Hats
It
off,
was.
definitely. Whew.
Jared Leto still sucks as the Joker, though.
True.
Yeah, but you know what? They definitely
Yeah.
they gave him the Jar Jar treatment. You know, like
Yeah.
scaled him back a bit. A couple one-liners, and yeah, just enough, just a dash.
A little bit of a dash.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have been good, but he was so cringy in Suicide Squad that like that's a part of a movie that
The
I just try not
laugh.
to consider exists, you know?
The
Y-
laugh,
Yeah, and it's
man.
really unfortunate too hearing things because obviously we know that Leto is a skilled actor, if not one of the most of our
Right.
time.
Absolutely.
And from my understanding, like there was a lot of stuff that was left chopped on the editing block.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That basically he says like what they ended up showing or putting in the reel was not what the story I was told would be, kind
Right.
of, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah,
mad
and
about
it
that.
it was like for a little while after I saw Suicide Squad, I did not wanna see Jared Leto in anything.
Nope. He should have
I
gone
like
back to music at that point.
like, it
Really?
annoyed me when
That
I saw him. I think that the next movie that I saw him in that I enjoyed his performance in was it came out recently, and it was,
I know what you're talking
Blade
about.
Runner?
The one
no, it was
with not
with
Forrest Whitaker, but Jamie Foxx, or I
no,
can't
it's
remember who it
Denzel.
was.
It's
Denzel.
him and Denzel
That's who it was.
Washington. Oh, what the
I
hell is
couldn't
that
remember
movie
the name.
called?
Hmm.
It wasn't an amazing movie. Well,
Hmm.
actually, it was a really good movie up until the very end of it, which was disappointing, and that's all I'm
Hmm.
gonna say about it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the ending kind of sucked.
Damn,
Uh,
that's some very
I
strong feelings you're having there. Because I mean, even for me, after Kevin Spacey fell from grace, I still couldn't get enough.
The Little Things is the name of that movie.
Yeah, the
Oh,
little
Little
things.
Things. Okay, yeah, yeah, on HBO. Okay, haven't gotten around
And
to it.
like it was worth watching.
Okay.
I would not
Mhm.
say don't watch it, but the ending was just confusing in a way that wasn't like cerebral. It was just like I don't know why
Mhm.
exactly they would have done this in this order for this reason. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it could have gone.
But
They could have gone so many other places.
Jared
Mhm.
Leto is the villain in that movie. Villain, I'll use the antagonist.
Mhm.
And his character is absolutely crazy insane. And I'm pretty sure he wears like prosthetics and stuff. Like he does not
Ah.
really look like himself. It took me a minute to realize it
Yeah.
was even him.
Huh.
I mean, he
Um,
pulled like Christian Bale in The Machinist level
yeah,
of
he
skinny.
looked like a haunted version of himself in that movie, and it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally worked.
I do have an answer to your question, though. I know I answered yesterday
Yes.
just on the pre-show with the TV show, but you want me to give you the movie answer?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the new Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah,
Dang, man.
yeah.
I didn't so I wouldn't consider myself a Star Wars
I never
fan. I
saw
like
episode
Star Wars.
9.
Huh?
I like Star Wars, but I'm not a Star Wars fan, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So,
R-
everybody was a lot of people were really upset about the new trilogy,
Yeah.
but, like, to me, it didn't seem like it was that bad just because, like, it wasn't something that it was like I was a huge fan of my whole life and then got let down by, you know?
It was. I'll be diplomatic about it. It was hearsay. It was a hodgepodge of nonsense made by committee without any forethought into narrative cohesion. It pandered to the worst elements of, I guess you could call, like, leftist social wokeism. It was bereft of any real. It was a thoroughly corporately constructed product, uh, and I
The movie
think that the,
Cohesion.
the thin veneer of real artistic vision that I thought was represented in the Force Awakens quickly dissolved as we saw the Last Jedi, and then definitely by the Rise of Skywalker. It was like full tilt, retcon it all. What's Reddit telling us we need to do? Blah 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 blah. Just crap, crap, crap.
I remember, actually, me and a buddy were talking about this earlier this week that, J.J. Abrams like admitted in an interview to going into the new Star Wars trilogy with no plan.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was like,
precisely
Yeah.
it.
that just struck me as so odd because like with a series and a universe and a complete like a world that so many people are so dedicated to
Mhm.
and in love with, like that you could just walk into that and just wing it, you know? Like
And it's only like, the studio has only thrown like $500 million at the project, so it might, you
right,
know.
like it's not like it's not like J.J. Abrams couldn't have done it better.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like it's not like he doesn't have the chops.
right.
He
And that
should
can be
go
argued
back to
too, but
Cloverfield.
I like
Well, I
Cloverfield.
mean, like,
That's
I'm
what I'm
not saying
saying.
that J.J. Abrams is the be all and end all, but I mean, like, he
Right.
could have done better, I think, if they had
Well,
really gone into it with that mindfulness and that
he
plan, like, he
for
really could
sure.
have done better.
For sure. But, I think it's a
Okay.
confluence of things because obviously JJ did not have a trilogy plan, right?
Right.
But what he did set up, I did enjoy. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but I think he did definitely. When you watch that film, do you remember, like, at least for me, that was like peak level, like, whoa, Star Wars is back, baby. Like the feel, the
Yeah.
essence, the fun, the levity of it, like the cinematography, fantastic. Like just the
That's how I
score.
felt actually when I watched Rogue One. That's how
Dude,
I felt.
Mhm.
wow. You know what's really funny? This is weird. I gotta say this. I think this is probably a consequence of my personal levels of anticipation and hype. Unfortunately, ruining my first viewing experience of that film. I thought it was crap on first sight, but I think after second or third viewing or whatever over time, I realize now retrospectively, this is solid, man. It's one of my favorite Star Wars films.
I've really enjoyed a lot of the content outside of, like, the main storyline, I guess. A
Mm.
lot of the content within the Star Wars universe. I liked Solo, and I know a lot of people didn't like Solo.
Mm.
I like
Mm-hmm.
Solo. I like the guy that they picked to play Han. Um, but
Mm.
Rogue One to me now, I am really biased in Rogue One because I am a huge Donnie Yen fan.
Oh, dude, yes.
Huge Donnie Yen fan. I have
Wow.
seen I think I've seen every single movie that Donnie Yen is in,
Great
and
casting.
he's absolutely my favorite martial artist, absolutely one of my favorite guys to put in an action movie in any role. Oh, I lied. I have not seen him in that Triple X sequel, but I think I've seen everything around that.
Was it the
So as soon
State
as
of the
Donnie
Union?
Yen showed up in that movie was a good movie to me because I got to
Yeah.
watch Donnie Yen fight in it.
I think,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
brilliant character. I think that was a way also to like organically bring in, let's call him a person of color. That wasn't in a way pandering because it made sense to have a martial artist like really just display his chops on screen. I think the concept of like somebody who is quasi force sensitive, um, relying, just on like his staff and his light connection to the force. It was a new concept. Just yeah, great, wonderful. I wanted to
yeah.
see more of him, man.
and then we had Robot Sheldon Cooper in that movie. Um, there was something that I heard about
Alan
that droid
Tudyk.
that was
Yes.
um there's something that I heard about that droid that was really something was really strange about how the personality of that droid came to be.
Mm.
And I
Hmm.
can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like it was an sort of an accident that it ended up being exactly what it
Huh.
was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I have not watched The Mandalorian. I want to. I want
Oh,
to,
God,
but I
it's so
haven't.
good.
I watched all of Clone Wars. I watched a pretty decent amount of Rebels.
Mm.
Um, and I've realized after years and years of the major struggle between the Jedi and the Sith that everything that doesn't have anything to do with the Jedi and the Sith is extremely interesting to me in
Mm.
Star Wars. And
Mhm.
the idea like watching the actual trilogies regarding the Jedi and the Sith is what like the part of Star Wars that I wasn't really all that into, you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of deep lore, so that's interesting to me, but just like the actual, on-screen conflicts between a lot of that is not as groundbreaking to me as imagining like the story, of an individual clone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a
The
two-part question.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so with regarding Rebels and the Bad Batch and all those, animated iterations, how does that how or if it does or does not, does that bother you? Because that's been kind of that's been a
Does it bother?
roadblock for me. Yeah, for me to get into it, I really can't stand that kind of animation style.
It's something that so I did not like I did not admit to myself that I liked Star Wars until I watched Clone Wars. And
Hmm,
then I was like, "This fucking rules."
hmm,
It's weird. Like Rebels, I didn't like the animation as much as I liked the animation in Clone Wars. And they're different. They're similar, but they're definitely different. And Clone Wars is a kids show for like the first episode, and then beyond that, it is a full blown fucking war. Like
hmm,
it is. I mean, it's not overly graphic, but it is not sugar coated about people dying and real genuine interpersonal conflict and character development with Ahsoka Tano, and you get to see Anakin and Obi-Wan doing their thing before what happens in Episode 3. You know,
hmm,
like you
hmm,
get to see them for the full characters that they actually are, which to me was like super cool.
hmm.
So I would say if you never if I met somebody who was like I've never watched any Star Wars and I would never watch any Star Wars except one thing, I would say watch Clone Wars. But that's from the perspective of someone who is not a huge Star Wars fan. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
say you know what I mean way too often. I really need to
You
like
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying?
You
Hey,
know what
man,
I'm
you need to
saying?
check this out, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I
Shit,
think
man.
personally, if I had to recommend one Star Wars thing to somebody, I still
Yeah.
think it would have to be Rogue One because I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, it's essentially a Star Wars Vietnam War movie.
Yep.
and it's Star Wars light almost. It is
Hmm.
palatable Star Wars for non-Star Wars fans.
Yeah, just like you said, it's very light on the whole mystical side of it. It's more about the space politics and of intergalactic imperialism and fighting against the rebels and fomenting dissent and coming into the fold. Like, yeah, dude, all the
It's more I
hallmarks of
mean,
any
maybe
great
it's just
war
that it's
film.
like it's more relatable.
More relatable, precisely. I was just about to say that.
Because, like,
Yeah.
if you consider, Luke Skywalker or Anakin or, Rey, they have
Ray
superpowers. Like, the main
Palpatine.
character of the movie has
Yeah.
superpowers.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah,
the
yeah.
human side as opposed to the superhero hero
Right, yeah,
factor.
Mhm.
and it's easier to, I guess, to suspend your disbelief in the face of that if you're not already a fan of sci-fi.
Mm. Yes, yes. Well, yeah, good news then. I think with us having the onset of the Cassian Andor show coming, the what was it? The Bat? It's not the Bat. Oh, not the Bad Batch. God, Rogue Squadron. I
Yeah.
think yeah, they're definitely getting hip to this idea. Really branching outside that narrative. I did my second question though, because this is something of interest. Like I, as a child, loved reading the Timothy Zahn novels, the Heir to the Empire, and
Mhm.
of course, we all know the one and only Grand Admiral Thrawn is someone who needs to be on screen, and I'm just loving the fact that he has
Absolutely.
he has an iteration in the series. But gosh, I can't get past that animation, despite his sexy Danish voice.
I gotta admit, I have a very, very limited knowledge of the canon from the books.
Okay.
And the only knowledge that I have from that canon is actually through tabletop gameplay,
Mm,
through an actual play podcast that plays in Edge of the Empire, and
mm,
they base a lot of their setting uh, elements are based on planets from the books. Like they start this one particular campaign that I listened to starts on Mercure, which I believe is only referenced in one of those single books. And they have stuff from that planet that follows them throughout the entirety of like 100 episode long, 3 year long campaign.
mm.
But that's the limit of my knowledge on that one.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Are you a Star Trek fan by chance?
I am.
Oh, who? Was that
That
you?
would be me.
Alex.
Oh, Kapla.
All right, Morph.
Boy, oh boy, man, we can talk about that too. But that's probably a hole we shouldn't go down.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole of rabbit holes.
Yeah,
I've
it
got
involves
a.
What
JJ
that
too.
is.
It involves
It
JJ
does.
fucking that hole as well. So
I
he's
think
just,
I think I would have been a Star Trek fan. Um,
it's so good,
it
bro.
was like it's the same way for me that Doctor Who is for a lot of people,
Mm.
where they couldn't get past the cheesiness of the effects out of context. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like if I
right.
wanted to go back and,
Yeah.
and watch
What?
old Star Trek like that, I
You
was like, I don't really want to
Okay,
watch
yeah, I get it. So like, how far?
you could watch Discovery.
Oh no, good God, what is wrong with you? Why would you
Oh,
ever
here we go.
dare recommend that on?
Robbie.
Good
If you want a
Lord.
more modern pacing,
No,
you could
but that's
watch
not
Discovery.
Star Trek. That's not Star Trek.
You could watch Lower Decks.
Okay. Yeah.
So, what's a movie you feel like everybody sleeps on?
Oh God. Speed Racer, 2009, directed by the
Really?
Wachowski.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
movie is an absolutely bombastic, technical marvel to watch. I am just literally blown at the sheer level of imagination to even conceptualize these frames, these shots, the world building. Because really, Speed Racer was just like this crap animation from whatever the '60s. There's no real depth to it. They fully fleshed out that world to begin with, and then okay. Do you remember watching The Matrix for the first time? And you
Yeah.
see Trinity. She's getting whatever manhandled, mansplained, whatever you want to call it, and then she just jumps in the air, and then you've got that bullet time rotation, and you're just like, what the hell? I don't even know how to describe what I just saw. Like, I don't have the words for it. Like, Speed Racer literally gave me that exact same thing. Like, the level of cinematography was just absolutely insane, has never been done to screen before. I think they perfectly captured the essence of how do you translate a cartoon into a live action movie while retaining the elements of both it looking like a cartoon but being shot live action. It's
Interesting.
fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I had
And
that feeling the first time I saw 300
yeah,
in
Mhm.
the fight scenes where they do that sort of sped up, slowed down, back to back.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
follow
More
the one
Zack
guy.
Snyder.
Well, yeah, Zack Snyder pioneered that whole oversaturated, high def, grainy look. Uh, Definitely, yeah, yeah.
If
A league in his own.
real quick, DJ, if you want a good movie that's similar in aesthetic style to Speed
Okay.
Racer with actually kind of a similar plot,
Yes.
watch a movie called Redline. It's
Ooh,
animated.
I've seen Redline. The
Oh
anime?
yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that is a
Yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah.
fantastic
Yeah.
movie. That thing
Yeah,
is
brother.
I will have to
beautiful.
Mm.
I will have to watch that movie because I feel like I've seen it, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
Mm.
I had a personal vendetta against that movie because when that movie came out, I was in ninth grade and I had broken my leg and sprained my wrist at the same time, which meant that I couldn't use crutches. So for 6 weeks my freshman year, I rode around my high school in a fucking hover round wheelchair, like that you would like the kinda scooter you'd see someone in at Walmart, you know?
And you
And
couldn't
the
give yourself
nickname
handy J's
Speed
or foot
Racer
J's?
it was rough. Speed Racer was one of my nicknames, Lightning McQueen, Hot Wheels,
Nobody called you Wheels?
NASCAR.
Hot Wheels.
Just straight Wheels? Wheels, what's up,
Yeah,
man? What's
people
up,
would,
Wheels,
like
baby?
and see, like, the thing is, like, I was not that much smaller then than I am now, and I'm not, like, a huge guy, but, like, people would, like, steal my keys and, like, hit my
Oh,
emergency brake and push me around and shit, and I'm like,
what?
"You know that in, like, 3 weeks, I don't have to use this anymore, and I'm much bigger than you are," like,
What? Wait, I'm sorry.
people were
Was this
just
in high school
dickheads,
or middle
man.
school?
This was my 1st year of high school.
That's fucking terrible, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and I can say that I consider myself lucky to that was the extent of a lot of bullying that I really ever had to deal with in
Wow.
school. You know, like I know a lot of people have had that really, really rough, and I had like just like a sliver of that. And
Mm,
it was just it frustrated me to no end. I could not imagine dealing with that like over a long period of time, you know. So
yeah.
Speed Racer holds like a very unique spot in my memory because people used to call me that when I was on the scooter. So it's like, I don't really, I wasn't really all that interested in seeing it at that
They ever
point.
call you
But
Speedy
I
as a
will have to
nickname?
go back and watch it. I will have to go give it a shot if it's got your stamp of approval to that degree.
Please, please, please do. I
I
mean, just get through it. It's a little corny, but like it's very self-aware of the
Somewhat.
fact that it's corny. It's done
yeah.
intentionally, right?
Yeah, and I mean there's like no plot really.
Yeah.
There is, but it's a simple plot. You're in there for the visuals
Yeah.
and the laughter. Plus, it
And
has John
yeah.
Goodman in it, so I mean,
It is John Goodman, isn't it?
John Good.
Wow.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
it's
Matthew
John
John.
Goodman.
Fox.
Yeah.
Matthew Fox
Thanks
from
again,
Yeah,
Lost.
Lost.
Matthew Fox,
J.J.
dude.
Abrams.
You've got
Fucking
you've got Roger Allen from there
Dr.
as well.
Jack Shepard.
Yeah, Jack.
Wow.
Oh,
You
my boy.
do you guys know about like the seven separations of bacon, the Kevin
Oh yeah.
Bacon
Yeah,
index?
Yeah,
yeah. I got a
yeah, they were
feel
talking
video
like
about
of
that
it.
on PK.
I feel like the modern version of that is J.J. Abrams. How
Yeah.
because how many times have we brought something up and it's somehow tangentially related to J.J. Abrams?
Hmm.
Well,
This is
I
a
Yeah, I
hypothesis
mean,
I've never heard of.
well, I mean, he did have well, I don't want to say one of the biggest cult followings for a TV show because it's not necessarily the biggest, but Lost fans are
Mm.
cult fans, and
Hmm.
I was
Oh
that
yeah,
guy for a really long time. Like,
Oh yeah.
me too.
we I had all kinds of shit that like I did themed based on Lost music that I wrote that was like
Mm.
Lost themed and used the numbers in it and like, you know, and so it's easy to bring stuff back to him because of something like that. And then he did Fringe too, didn't he?
Yes.
I loved that show
Mm.
for most of it. Until, like, season 6 or 7, I wanna say, it started to get
Mm.
really fucking weird, but
Mm.
I loved that show.
I've been
Um,
told to watch it.
I got a question for you.
so there we go.
Tom and I were talking about this earlier in the week. He hasn't seen the movie. What did you think of the Power Rangers reboot?
I thought it was good. You're asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Movie
Yeah,
Man.
I thought it was great. Oh
What
yeah.
what did you think about their take on having the Blue Ranger being more on the spectrum than everyone else? I think that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I thought it was done very tactfully.
Yes.
And that's what really
Like, not
surprised me about it
shoehorned
because
in for the
it,
sake of
yeah, it wasn't like they're trying to check a box off,
Right.
and it wasn't like they're kind of really exploiting it like in a derogatory sense for jokes. Like they kind of did poke fun at, but like in a very like self-aware and like nurturing way. Like we're not gonna be overly like, oh, let's give them an award for just being alive. Like no
Right.
matter what you do, you can never do any wrong because they're on the
Right.
spectrum. No, it was like
Yeah.
acknowledging like just kind of the reality of it. Then yeah, wonderful.
I have been a diehard Power Rangers fan since I was a kid. So like we were talking about Power Rangers and shit. We got on the topic of the movie, but you brought up something like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, it's this guy from Turbo and then Zeo and Dino, blah 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 blah.
Uh,
I forgot how much I knew about that show.
Now he's gotten me wanting to 3D print myself, a White Ranger helmet
Still hasn't done it yet.
from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I really, really, really wanna do it.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
So,
I
we'll
feel
see.
like
I mean,
DJ
I
was
always identified
channeling
with that.
DJ, you were just
His name
channeling
was
your
Tommy.
Picard from the Inner Light, weren't you?
Oh man, I love you so much. Yes, yes. Man, what a wonderful 60 years of life I had on that planet.
Absolutely. Fucking learn to play the flute and everything.
That's right. That's it. That's what life's all about. And don't worry, it doesn't matter. You commandeered my whole ship of 3,000 plus members and then put me into a trance for 6 hours and scared the whole crew. But you told me about your society. Totally worth it. And I learned how to play the flute. You sent me a little space flute. Wow, one of the better episodes of Star Trek, man. That is, God. See, you're gonna get me started with Star Trek, man. But TNG really knew how to just write just tight scripts that had like philosophical or contemporary or societal issues woven into some, on the surface sci-fi uh, narrative. But yeah, they did it on the cheap. It was about the story. It wasn't about fucking Michael Burnham, double fisting her space guns and shooting.
Getting her angel costume and
Yeah, fucking Mary
My
Sue Michael
God.
Burnham, dude. Just she can do it all. That's right. She ain't human, but she was born in Vulcan, and apparently she's better than them too. So I don't know how that works.
Man, you know what else came out of that Power Rangers movie from 2017? Uh,
Hmm.
Dacre Montgomery, like,
Dude,
I mean, he had been around, but I had never seen him in anything. And then
it,
from that, like, he played the Red Ranger in that movie, and
yeah,
then he came to Stranger Things and put
right.
on like that. His character in that show is fucking insane. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's he's such a good villain. He's such a good villain in that.
Douchebag.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And like then when you watch interviews with him, he's like he seems like the type of guy I would really actually want to be friends with.
Oh,
Like,
he's like such a charming guy. I saw.
Yeah.
yeah,
I did a
yeah,
review
for
for one
real.
of his last movies, the Broken Hearts Gallery.
Mhm.
Them fine gentlemen. What a nice old sport. You carry on, old bean.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
Dacre Montgomery, but we have to admit he's basically a clone of Zac Efron. Just
No. No,
He
yeah.
looks a little bit like Zac Efron.
he
He looks a
does kind
lot
of
like
look
Zac
like
Efron.
Zac Efron, but I don't
He
think that
looks
his
like
acting chops are a clone of Zac Efron. Now, Zac Efron can
no.
fucking act. I
Yeah, he
will
can.
absolutely say that. If you haven't seen Charlie St. Cloud,
Mm,
see that fucking movie.
mm,
But I don't think that they necessarily fit into the same bracket.
mm,
I don't think there's
You know who's
necessarily even though he was in Power Rangers, I don't think that there's anything necessarily child safe about Dacre Montgomery.
mm.
no.
No.
Speaking of actors who are kind of actually powerhouse that you wouldn't expect, fucking Ryan Gosling.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast when he wants to be.
Do you guys ever look at
Um
these people and you just see like how beautiful they are and how talented they are and just what the fuck kind of cards were we dealt, man? Like what in the shit? How can a human being like that exist, dude? Like ah God bless him.
Out of every movie that you've reviewed or that you can recall, what's the one
Yeah.
movie that you think everybody should see?
Mm.
A little bit of a thinker, but I know you have an answer, and I know it'll be good.
Okay, so let me preface this by asking: does it have to be a narrative movie, or can this fall in the context of like a documentary?
Just a movie that you think is like it's number one when someone says, what movie do I need to watch? This one because X."
Hmm. Okay, so obviously this has to be a catch-all. I can't get very niche and be like, "Hey, you need to watch Primer." It's
Oh, I was actually thinking Primer. Primer's fucking awesome.
but to anybody who doesn't care about like the technical details of time travel, that's going to be
Have you
a
ever wanted to be extremely confused?
that they have to see. And so, sorry, Robbie, this is like the ADHD in me. Like I get really bogged down in the details. So is this? I'm imagining this is a film that like kind of is like not on the radar in contemporary society.
Just any film you can think of, it's the best one you've ever seen. Like your favorite, I guess you could say, because you'll recommend that one.
I don't want to say it because this is like I know everyone's already seen it, and I keep thinking about The Matrix.
That's a
So I
good
need to get
answer.
something better.
No,
I
Yeah,
don't
I
blame
mean,
you.
that's a good answer.
yeah, but
Maybe older,
I
but
know
not
everyone's.
everybody has seen it.
Yeah.
There is an archetypal person that was a really big fan of The Matrix when it came out, though.
Yeah, they wore
Like,
trench coats.
Yeah.
they wore trench coats. They filmed short films by themselves with their buddies in the woods with sticks.
Yes.
They
Guilty.
got really into Tool. They got really
Guilty.
into the band Tool.
Oh yeah.
Like, that is an archetype of person. I have a very specific person in my mind that I
Uh,
have based that archetype off of, and I've seen it all over the place.
it's even more hilarious because I literally did exactly that, except I was in 8th grade, like twice the weight I am now, acne prone all over my face. I had bleached blonde curly hair because it was hot because Fred Durst and Eminem were rocking that. Recording films. I wrote a script called The Eight Tracks because I thought it was clever, like a pun. Like, oh, it's the Eight Tracks. And yeah, also the Blair Witch Project. I did one of those short films and I've scripted it. And yeah, I walked around school in my fucking cool leather jacket because, yeah, man, Matrix, I'm going to jack out.
Yeah. Better
You
than
know,
Jack
Jack
Off.
off.
I'm willing to bet that at some point you downloaded Pivot to your computer and animated stick figures prior to downloading like the very first After Effects.
Pivot. Wow, I forgot about
Am I
that.
wrong?
Gosh, all the drugs have riddled my mind from memory consolidation. It rings a bell. I can't say I have
Pivot
any.
it was a simple stick figure animator that they used for flash animation that you would see. You remember like the
Oh,
stick figure fights, like man versus drawing or whatever?
yeah.
Mhm.
I must have, dude, because I was big in the Flash back then.
Yeah, it was just a simple flash animator for free that you could download and animate stick figures. All of stickdeath.com was pretty
Yeah,
much done
Stick
on
Death. Oh, wow.
on
Wow,
on Pivot.
you're taking me
Um,
back.
I remember how big of a pain in the ass it was to try and make lightsaber effects. Like, I remember, like,
Oh, Lord.
watching that was one of the first things that I ever went to YouTube to find out,
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
was
because
watching videos on how to make my stick look like a lightsaber, and it looked like garbage. It looked
yeah.
so bad, and we were all so fucking stoked about it.
You remember
Um
Ryan versus Dorkman?
No.
That sounds vaguely
Oh,
familiar.
that does sound vaguely familiar.
This is like early 2000s when like they had to upload like 7-minute films to a site on QuickTime. And it was like a
Okay.
two-part series of just Ryan, whatever his name was, and then his Dorkman was the alias to the other guy. And it was just like legit like lightsaber battle sequences between the two of
Oh,
them. Like
yes, yes,
well
I know
choreographed,
exactly what you're talking about.
right?
I saw those videos on MySpace.
Yeah.
Those were shared on MySpace.
Oh
Yes.
Yes,
my god.
I definitely remember those, and they were good.
Really
They were
good.
really well choreographed.
Yeah, like this is before like the new trilogy came out, but they were doing
Mhm.
things like lightsabers like going into like walls and like the molten metal starting to melt and the sparks flying out like because we never seen that
Yeah.
in the original trilogy. Little tiny
Yeah,
details like
I
that.
fully remember that now. Oh, man, the whole idea, like, it's fully just solidified in my mind, and I can
Right?
picture it, and those fucking sunglasses that he wore. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah,
That
man.
was the inspiration for that guy that I'm talking about, that archetypal
Mhm.
person who was really into the Matrix and then started trying to make Star Wars films. And I
Yeah,
bet you if you think hard enough, you know one too.
yeah. Real quick while we're on there,
Uh,
did you guys ever see? Did you know who Jamie Costa is? Jamie Costa
No.
in the Star Wars community?
vaguely.
Oh, dude, he's so that's before Solo became a thing. Actually, I think the thing that really started interest in creating a solo movie was this independent
Oh,
actor.
yes. He
Yeah.
does a really ridiculously good impression of Robin Williams.
Oh, does he? I think yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because he does one really good of Harrison Ford as well. So he
Mhm.
made he made kind of like a little solo film, but then recently he made one for Kenobi where he plays Ben Kenobi, and yeah, it's definitely worth watching if you guys haven't seen it. Because
Right
I'm
on.
really excited to see this Kenobi like show on DP. I like to call it DP, Disney Plus.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I'm
Uh-huh.
The
the
only
DP.
reason that I haven't canceled Disney Plus is because I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet, because we pay for it every month and we
Mm,
don't ever use it. I'll tell you what I do use is Discovery Plus. I watch a shit ton of Discovery Plus. Fucking
Oh.
Ghost Adventures,
Oh.
fucking BattleBots,
Mm.
um, Mythbusters. Mythbusters was like my dream job growing up. Like
Ah.
that is what I wanted for my life so badly.
Mm.
So Discovery Plus is rad. But
Huh.
let's see. We got a couple more. What are we at on time right now? I feel like we've been
An hour 5.
like it's oh, I knew it. I knew this was gonna be a long one. Okay, so I wanna see the the biggest question that I wanted to ask you this week was, what is your most memorable experience in a movie theater? Whether it's actually like the scene in a movie or when something fucking crazy happened in the theater or while you were at the movie theater, like in the lobby or whatever, but just anything surrounding a movie that was just completely unforgettable that you like still tell the story about today, or you would tell the story maybe to your future children.
100%. And I had already just mentioned it. That I remember seeing The Matrix. Let me preface this. I'm going to build up the anticipation here, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Before The Matrix came out in 1999, no one knew what the hell it was. There was a barrage of commercial trailers on TV, television trailers. Comic Con was still like in its infancy, so they had button pins that had "What is the Matrix?" taglines. No promotional material regarding like the actors or anything like that. So that and the trailer aside, no one knew what it was going in. We thought maybe it was just kind of like a cyberpunk action film in the vein of like something like The 13th Floor, which was pretty much in fashion during that period of time. Now, I mentioned that bullet time effect, right? Like that completely just blew all of our collective minds out of the water. Never thought I would see a film again that would really have this visceral response in me until I saw Avengers Endgame. And when
When
fucking
that was
Steve Rogers picked up that
Yeah.
goddamn hand,
yes, I was
Swear to
really
God.
hoping
I was
that you were gonna say
fucking,
that.
fucking
That's what I was
electricity.
gonna
Like
say.
fucking
God
building
damn,
cheers.
everybody.
that was
Everybody
not me trying
clap.
to be. Yeah, no one was trying to be cool or like put fawning like, well,
No.
well, no, that was just a visceral like, what?
Yes.
Holy
Oh my
shit!
god, yes.
Yeah. Oh my god! And then he just started up in the ante. He's just fucking rocking that shit and just boom! I'm like, god damn! Like,
I
especially
literally like I don't know if you can see. I have fucking goosebumps thinking about that. Because
wow.
That would have
that
been my answer
um
too. That's fantastic.
Right, guys? Like,
so
when has
there's
that ever
that
happened?
and the scene in A Quiet Place.
Oh,
You've seen A Quiet Place, yeah?
yeah, I just saw the second one too.
The scene in A Quiet Place. Now, that's another motherfucker who can act his
I,
ass off as John Krasinski.
yeah, yeah.
When he says to his daughter, he says, "I love you. I have always loved you," and then he just lets out that fucking guttural, just ah!
Ah,
Like
ah,
my whole body just like froze, dude. It was
mm,
just, especially just like the whole concept of going to a movie theater and being basically in complete silence
mhm,
until something crazy happened. You know, it
mhm,
like it made everything so much more impactful when it happened. Like you
mhm.
could hear people across the theater eating popcorn.
Oh
It
fuck, I
was
wouldn't be
so
able to be there.
quiet.
That
Yeah.
would trigger me so hard.
And so there was that, and it also proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that an entirely subtitled movie is perfectly commercially viable,
Yeah.
you know? So
And even
it was
less than that, no dialogue whatsoever.
right, right. Um,
Yeah.
so that's probably like one of the most like, impactful experience. Definitely that scene in Endgame when he picks up the hammer is like one of my favorite movie scenes of all time, hands down. But I remember I went to go see Elysium. It was a
Oh yeah.
2013 movie. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so it wasn't, from what I remember, it wasn't really that good.
It was
But
not.
I have sort of a biased opinion because I watched it out of order. And we
Huh.
didn't realize it was out of order until two-thirds of the way through the movie,
Huh.
because whoever set up the reels for that movie started with the second one and then went to the first one and then played the ending.
Huh.
was extremely confusing. There's a movie theater near my house that is
Still
sort of
uses
notorious
reels.
for being like the shitty movie theater because you can go and see a movie for like $3, you
Mhm.
know? And so you would always see like slightly older movies at that theater.
Mm.
And that was why. It was because they would fucking do shit like play the movie out of order.
I know which
That
theater you're
yeah.
talking about.
That's
Yep.
great. You need to PM me that. I want to experience
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um
movies and shit. I know
yeah.
about them. I promise.
If you're from our area, if you're from this area, like you know exactly what movie theater I'm
I think
talking about.
right now, Robbie, he's just under the trance of Aunt Jemima's spell right now. She's working her
Yeah,
voodoo
that's
behind
true.
him.
Without giving
Um,
anything
$8,000 for a
away,
bottle.
it's the one by the mall.
That means nothing to me. I
it's
don't
the
live in that
very
area.
first place I ever
The
saw a sign that banned Heelys.
band Haley's.
Heelys.
I want to get
Healy.
another pair of
Oh,
Haley's, dude. I fucking love those things.
Jesus. Wow.
They're making a comeback. Golly, this has
Oh,
been such a fucking fun episode. I'm
yeah,
so glad we got to have you on, bro.
Yeah, dude, I am so humbled and honored and pleased, and I'd love to return if you guys ever have any time in the future, and
absolutely.
vice versa on my channel as well. You know, it's always great to have quality people who know what the fudge they're talking about, and they're fun to talk to as well. They're not like, oh well, yeah, my feelings and my thoughts on this are what? Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we appreciate having you. We will
absolutely.
have
Oh yeah, absolutely.
all of DJ's info, socials, and the link to his YouTube channel down in the episode description.
Yeah.
This has been an awesome experience. So this
excellent.
is actually my first time being on the show where we had a guest.
Yep.
The last time we had a guest, I was sick as hell and could not come on the show. So this has been a super awesome experience for me.
Well, hey,
The first
props to
time I
you.
think
You've
I've
got
ever
your
officially
diversity check
interviewed
mark off
somebody.
here for having the first black coon on the show.
Fuck
So.
it, eh? He can say it. He can say it.
Yeah, I mean,
Dang it.
and now we
I'm
have to
using it.
censor the whole episode. Now it's just gonna be like, hey, leftovers at midnight, episode 25. We got DJ. That's what we got.
DJ, tell everybody
So-
where they can find you.
Oh, yes, sure. You can find me on YouTube. It's youtube.com. Don't type in duh. / MoviePop. You can also find me on Twitter at RealMoviePop. On Instagram at MoviePopOfficial. And then my website, www.georgew.moviepop.org. No George W. included, please.
.org? How do you get a .org?
He's an
You
organization.
buy it?
I'm pretty sure
Really?
it's .org.
I thought a .org basically just implied that it was non for profit.
No.
MoviePop?
You can
No,
buy
no.
any type of domain extension you want.
Except .gov.
I did not
though,
know
right?
that.
If you get
I would really like
moviepop.gov,
moviepop.gov.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Leftovers at midnight.gov. Coming
Right?
soon.
Brought to you by the Secretary of Defense.
we'll have all your links and
I
everything.
just realized I
down
need to pay
below.
my bill because apparently my website's not up right now. That's embarrassing.
I know
Oh.
that feeling, dude. My band's website has lapsed a couple of times because we haven't done anything in the last
Oops.
year over COVID times.
What's it say here on
Oh,
this
man.
business card? Yeah, moviepop.org. Okay.
Super official. Hell
That's
yeah.
it.
Fuck yeah.
There, hell yeah. Damn, son.
Clean.
Where'd you get that?
Where'd you get that? That's the white people
Oh,
version of it.
Vistaprint, right?
Thanks, son.
Got a
Where'd you get
Vistaprint.
that?
I get my inspiration going.
Oh,
Just
dang it,
gotta
Bobby.
get.
Dang it, Bobby.
It's the demon. Oh,
There we go.
oh, that burns so good.
That was cocaine, not Adderall.
No, I like a healthy mix of the two.
Ah, there you go,
I
yeah.
prefer the suppository, but you know,
You do work in a
sulfating it.
pharmacy, you said.
Is cocaine more
Hell of a
expensive
drug?
than Adderall?
Hell of a drug.
Oh, nobody got that joke.
Yes, it's way more expensive than Adderall.
Oh yeah, big
I don't
time.
know. Like I've never actually been in a situation like to have bought cocaine.
We can talk
Yeah,
about
it's-
that off camera.
I've never been in that. I was boring. I didn't go to parties in high school at all, so I've never been in that situation. But
way more expensive, but its
A
benefits
lot.
I mean,
are.
that's entirely reasonable to assume that, but I just didn't know. I remember when I wanted to switch medications one time, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a doctor, and I was like, "Yeah, my dad's on Dexedrine." And she's like, "Don't go to a doctor's office telling them that you want Dexedrine. They will think that you are trying to sell it." Anyway,
All right, Leftovers at
fucking
Midnight,
sick episode.
fucking 26. Thank you, DJ, for coming on. Thank you, Tommy, for showing
Thank you.
up. Thank you, Louis C.K., for doing a backup recording. Everybody, bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Robbie.
Bye, guys.
Leipziger Stadtbank, das heißt, gar nicht sprechen Deutsch, ja.
Yeah, what he said.